Renewable energy. That's right, we're doing wind energy. So why is wind energy renewable? Well, it's wind, and wind is limitless because it's powered by the sun. So, unless there's an obstruction in the way, it's going to be there, you know, blowing on your wind turbines. And the wind is also you can't really consume wind. It's not like a fossil fuel where when you burn it, it's gone. It's there. You can't really get rid of it.
It's always going to be there.
Now, how do you convert wind energy into power? Now, first you put in your windmill, your wind turbine. You put that in somewhere in a nice little windy location. And then a motorized drive is built into the turbine, so that basically it's always facing the wind. It's not like, if the wind is blowing from the south and your wind turbine is facing the west. No, it's always facing where the wind is coming from. So then it spins. The wind spins the turbines, and that creates kinetic energy, and then this energy is harnessed by a gearbox inside of the turbine, and then that gives energy to a generator, and that creates electricity, and then that electricity is used to power homes, businesses, factories.
Schools.
It doesn't even matter.
It even powers your coffee machine. Because you gotta have that good coffee when you wake up in the morning. You gotta be like, oh, now I gotta go to work.
All right, so some of the pros of wind turbines: they don't cause pollution. That's right, there's no pollution in the water or the air like you'll have with fossil fuels. And it's powerful enough to power the world. Wind turbines create enough power to power, the world like several times over. The whole world, even, your power companies and everything else. And, it's renewable because it's powered by the sun, and the sun is pretty limitless.
Yeah, the way it works. Yeah, the way it works is you have like solar radiation mixing up with the geothermal power, and it creates wind. So solar radiation creates the wind that blows for us to harness by using wind turbines.
All right, and they're very space efficient. One turbine, one of the largest. If you have one wind turbine, then the largest one can power up to 600 homes. And, it saves people money when it comes to energy costs, because fossil fuels are expensive. But wind turbines are not as expensive. And the operation costs are low. It doesn't require a lot of money to operate a wind turbine.
It doesn't require a lot of work. You just gotta put that wind turbine in a good position, and then you get like wind. You'd be like, whoosh. Yeah, then you get that wind.
All right, and the use of wind turbines is also increasing worldwide. It's up from it used to be really low, and now it's going up steadily. Now, some of the cons. Wind turbines have caused the deaths of a lot of migratory birds. It interrupts their migration patterns, and as well as bats.
Yeah.
And most off-grid systems, wind systems, rely on batteries to store the electricity, and it makes them expensive.
It's not easy to make a battery, and it's not cheap either.
And the batteries, they're not easy. It's not easy to get rid of them once they're used up. It's not one of those things you just put in a landfill or something, which is probably not a good idea. But they're not easy to dispose of, like chemicals or something.
Don't burn it either. It's a bad idea to burn batteries. This is a public service announcement.
And they had to be very carefully placed to maximize the output of power, because you don't want to just spend all this money on a wind turbine and then have it just not work for you, and then you're not going to get your investment back.
You don't want to put a wind turbine in the middle of a bunch of mountains, and then you're like, yo, John, yeah, why aren't we getting any wind from this turbine? Maybe because we put it in the middle of a mountain. Oh.
Yeah, you see, that's a problem. And a lot of people have reported noise. Like people in next to wind farms, they reported that there's a lot of noise, and I can see where they can be coming from, because wind is pretty noisy. And then there's just some people just don't like the way wind turbines look, which is completely ridiculous. It's like it's used to power your home. I mean,
kind of like that aesthetic.
A lot of people, they don't like the way nuclear power plants look either, but I mean, they're not meant to be aesthetically pleasing. Like,
they're meant to be efficient, and that's what they do.
There you go, exactly. And now here are some of the placements of wind turbines in the United States and apparently the southern part of Canada. As you can see, there are almost none in the solid south. That not the Texas part of the solid south, but I'm talking about the original solid south. Yeah, there's one in Tennessee. You got a couple there, and there's a lot more wind, in the Great Plains areas. So around, Texas, Oklahoma, around these areas, like that's the Great Plains right there. And then, of course, in the West too. And well, that's all for that. Oh, actually, there are no wind farms in North Carolina. I don't know if you noticed, but so yeah, if you wanted to see a wind turbine up close, you'd have to go out of state. It's a real shame, but I guess it's just not windy enough in North Carolina. But that's okay. It may be a great state, but it can't have everything. It's not our fault that we just we don't have that powerful wind like over there in the Great Plains. We can't have everything. All right. Well, that's all for that one.
You turned into Sam there.